Hi guys, it's the Island Girl and I'm back with another reaction video for you today. And today I'm reacting to Joe Rogan is shocked to learn about Thomas Sowell's wisdom. So this one came into the comment section and you don't know, once it's dropped there, it will be done. Alright guys, so without further ado, we're going to jump right into it. But before I do so, you all know what I'm about to do. Do you? No. So if you're new to my channel and it's your first time here, come on in, right back, put a smile on your face and enjoy. To all my regulars, my schmegglers, my day ones, my sweetie pies, my sweetie poos, come on in, right back, put a smile on your face and enjoy. Let's get into this video, all right? Here we go now.
So, do you know Thomas Sowell?
I know that name. Why do I know that name?
Thomas Sowell is a big, famous conservative. He's at Stanford. He's at the Hoover Institute, I think. Anyway, so, you know, within this, I mean, first, just to set all of this up, we should set up briefly, how does culture work, right? And the way culture works is that it, like genetic evolution, it works based on blind copying. So what ends up happening is that you are in awe of people, right? You look up to people, and so you blindly copy the things they do. And specifically, you start by blindly copying from the outside, and then you work in. Thomas Sowell is a black guy, right? Okay. And Thomas Sowell has, for years and years and years, been trying to fight racism. But he's been trying to fight racism by having a conversation about culture. Right? And the fact that there are essentially two different sort of, you know, we're speaking broadly here, right? But this is for the purposes of communication. We're going to tell a simple story to start off with, right? So broadly speaking, he puts two different cultures of people with dark skin next to each other. And one culture is these people from the West Indies. And one culture is this group of people who grew up in the South with slavery and all that sort of stuff. Now, what one group, the West Indies group, does really well. So a lot of the successful black people like Colin Powell, are originally from that cultural heritage. Okay. The other group is the group that you find in ghettos and African-American communities and all of that sort of stuff. They don't do well, right? They don't get good education. They, you know, shoot each other. There are all these sorts of things. And the reason why Sowell has been telling this story is because he's been trying to say, you know, when liberals look at the people in ghettos, they say, ah, racism, that's why they're not succeeding. And Sowell is saying, no, it's not. Because if you look at this group from the West Indies, they also came from the experience of slavery. There was slavery in the West Indies. They are also black, so they also face racism. Yes. And yet they do well. So it has to be something else. And that other thing is the fact that these black people who are in the South, there's always been a big question, were black people robbed of their culture? Or did they preserve their authentic African culture? Okay. And what Sowell is saying is that they were robbed of their culture, and so they picked up the culture of the people around them, and the people around them were rednecks. And if you...
Hold up. Now, I'm just diving into Thomas Sowell lately, and you're telling me that they copy what? This is interesting. It's just... yeah, interesting.
Look at the white redneck culture and the black redneck culture. They have a lot of the same values.
I know I just paused. Did he just say black redneck? There's this thing, black redneck. No, guys, that is just interesting just to hear. Black rednecks. Look, man. My eyes are being opened just like Joe right about now, because I've never heard about that at all. Values.
They don't particularly respect education. They love Jesus. They use violence in their conflicts. And they, you know, there's just, you know, a lot of the same values and a lot of the same outcomes. And even Ebonics, which is, you know, Black English, is actually all from the west of England. So it's actually this...
What?
It's from the west of England. So, for example, if you go to places like Cornwall, there used to be this amazing... these amazing ads on British TV, right, for this this Devon custard or whatever, and they would always say, Devon knows how they make it so creamy, and they all talk like this, right? And so it doesn't sound like Black English, but they do say things like, I be doing that, and we be doing this, and you be doing that, and they be doing that. And so there's that use of that copula be, right, where instead of saying I am, you are, he is, she is, they are, they just say I be, you be, we be, they be, which is the classic feature of Black English, African-American and back with English. Right. Now.
Okay, now I'm on board with Joe right here because he's explaining this in layman terms that the simplest a man can understand what he is saying based on how he's explaining from how Thomas Sowell is saying it, and he's getting it and I'm getting it and I'm baffled by exactly what he's saying. There's something that it's funny how people may say, I like to hear people's views on other stuff. No, I'm just lately, like I said, for a lot who don't know, just diving in. I am learning as I go, and there's a lot of information that I don't know, and I've been doing a lot of reading. But this right here, there's one thing I can say though that I cannot stand. Like it's a pet. I cannot stand it. I can literally use the word hate, which I don't like to use, is the N word. I cannot stand when other peers, my skin tone, black people call each other the N-word. I cannot stand it for the love of me. I don't like it. I don't want to have nothing to do with it. I just don't like it. I don't know why. It just don't sit well with me. So I'm just want to put that out there. But it's just crazy that I can understand where Thomas Sowell is coming from. So I know from just hearing that and watching a few of Thomas Sowell video, I can draw from that to say that they are going to fight and say, no, that's not the case. It's not about culture. It's about, yeah, I can see that's where this is going, basically.
With English. Right. Now, the point is that
mind blower.
Indeed,
now,
mind
let's
blower.
imagine that. How do you think that Thomas Sowell has been received by liberal America?
Oh.
Not well.
Not well.
Exactly.
Not well. And so, for example, Sowell has a book called Black Rednecks, White Liberals.
Wow.
Okay? And his whole point is that, if you actually, and, again, like Sowell is, he researches the shit out of this stuff. He really does his work.
Yep.
Now, if you look at the experience of African Americans after slavery, they start to make real progress, right? And a large part of the reason why they make progress is because you start to get a lot of people from New England, either, black people from New England or white people from New England, who come down and sort of reshape the culture. They create these schools and they're teaching those New England values, right? It's those Puritan values of hard work, tenacity, all of that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
And so there's all this progress. And you have people like Booker T. Washington. And Booker T. Washington was an actual slave. And then after he got his freedom, he got to go work in a salt mine, which is literally the worst job ever.
Oh, wow.
And in Booker T. Washington's Up From Slavery, he tells this great story about seeing a schoolhouse, right? And that, he thought that going into a schoolhouse was about as close to heaven on earth as you could get.
Wow.
Like, this is a dude who wanted an education really, really badly. And that's a lot of what you find in the, early black experience in, the post-slavery period.
Yep.
And in fact, blacks, before sort of World War II actually had higher rates of marriage than whites, all of these sorts of things that, are now supposedly a problem. And then there's this turnaround, right? The black experience starts to go south, right? It starts to get worse.
And what year is this around?
This is post-World War II, right?
Okay.
So
post-slavery, black people experience a rebounding.
They're starting to make some progress. There's ambition.
Progress.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I mean, if in terms of books to read, like, because a large part of what I'm trying to do in general is really let's move to the place of all people are created equal.
I'm all for that. I've been saying that. I've been pushing that from. Yeah. Yes. I've been saying that. I've been stressing that. That is one thing that I keep saying. We are all created equal. The past is the past. It happened in the past. Let's move forward. I'm not saying that we are supposed to but just learn from the past and move on. I'm just going to throw this in there. I know a lot of people are talking about repatriation. It makes no sense because if I'm supposed to pay it, that means you're supposed to pay it and everybody's supposed to pay it and everybody and the mommy and everybody that we in has to pay it. So what's the point? That's the past. They did it. They're dead and gone, pretty much. So let's leave it right there. Just love each other and move on, Move on. But let's hear what he's saying.
Like, let's remove all these stupid distinctions, right, and really live that principle.
Yes.
And the problem is that in order to really live that principle, you need a new narrative that beats slavery. So,
Yep.
you know, it's not, if you go and talk to racists, you can't just say racism is bad. Like, that doesn't destroy racism,
Right.
right? What destroys racism is when you make sense of the things that they know, right? They see, you know, people who are violent in the ghettos, or they see crime, or they see a lack of education, or they see that Africa is poor. And you're able to tell a better story that makes sense of the things that they know, but also comes out with the conclusion, oh, we actually all have the same potential.
Wow. 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 Mind blown. Love the simplicity of how he explained it to Joe. Gotta be honest with that, because I learned something right there too. And he's right. We all have that potential. Teach them that. Teach people who are stuck in this mindset that is all about race. We all have that potential. We are all created equal. We are all created equal. We just have to go out there and be the best that we can be and push forward. That's just how I see it. And I hope a lot of people will see it that way. This is my 2 cents. This is my opinion. Like I said, guys, I am learning. I'm not here to take sides. These are my opinion from what I've watched and what I've heard and from what I've reading so far. Thank you guys for dropping this in the comment section. I really appreciate it. Don't forget to go in the comment section. Tell me what you'd like me to react to next, because it will be done. Not only that, hit that like button as much as you can. Share this with every and anybody. I'd really appreciate that. You know what, guys? I'm running out of here. So guess what? It's your island girl. Love you to the max. And I'll definitely catch you guys in another video. Bye.